What do I owe the? What do I owe the pleasure? What do I owe the pleasure? The last time we been together.
We wash your car for you.
We wash your car.
We wash your car with no shame in our hustle.
And when you goddamn getting into that wash, and you know that tip gonna be good, like if you seen goddamn Miss Country.
Y'all better stop buying this slippery soap, man.
Man, I ain't gonna lie. I've been holding a lot of shit in lately. Man, I just had like a 3.5 hour cry. Where I just like let it all out. Or as much as I could tap into. And that shit felt great. Sometimes you gotta let that shit out. Just saying to everybody out there, men, women, and child, you know what I'm saying? Don't be leaving nothing bottled up, you know what I'm saying? Let that thing out. God will be right there, let you know. Come on, let's get up, let's go. But I had me a 3.5 hour cry. God is good.
The streets are buzzing after a move nobody saw coming. 50 Cent has allegedly released recordings that now have Rick Ross under serious pressure, and this situation is no longer looking like a normal rap feud. This feels more strategic. The clips are not just embarrassing moments, they are being treated like leverage, and the reaction behind the scenes shows how serious the situation has become. Because once private footage, old claims, and industry secrets begin resurfacing, the conversation stops being about insults and starts becoming about survival.
Just like New York, just like Mount Vernon, New York City, Mount Vernon, and Miami, all that is the same, bruh. Nobody wants to be near him. Nobody wants to touch what he touched, be where he at. You understand? It's crazy, bruh, how his fall from grace, which was never from grace, it's just like the devil just kicked him out of hell. Because he was never in nothing graceful and did anything graceful. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what you say about, okay, he did the music, he had the bad boy legacy and everything like that, man. But, you know, a few albums, a few people, you know, made to be famous, but they not here to tell their story. Black Rob, Biggie, Craig Mack. They not here to tell their story, bro. And now you got everybody telling his story.
Yeah, and I know 50, he did a recent interview with US Weekly saying that the reason why rappers are quiet about, Diddy's situation is because they've been to his parties and they don't know what got caught on tape.
Bruh.
For years, 50 Cent moved differently from the rest of the industry. While other people laughed off his comments or dismissed him as trolling, 50 appeared to be watching, collecting, and waiting. When Rick Ross took shots at him years ago, many people saw it as another celebrity rivalry. But 50 never seemed to treat it like simple entertainment. He let Ross build his image. He let the confidence grow. He let the public believe the feud had cooled down. Then, when the timing was right, the pressure returned. And now, what looked like random online jokes is starting to look like a calculated rollout.
Those people who was caught at Diddy party did not know that he had 250 tape recorders in that house. That's a big house. But he had 250 tape recorders in that house that they took, that the feds found. So now with them finding all that and you being at a Diddy party, you know you may have done something that was caught on one of those tapes. You just better pray to God that they don't recognize you. Those people who know that they did something, no, they're not going to speak out. They're not going to say nothing. What part of the game is that? They are not going to come forward and tell on themselves. Nah, not at all. Ice Cube, he said it himself, bro. He said that Diddy's been targeted because of what he said about those folks and those people. Now, the people who was on those tapes may feel like Diddy might be targeting them. Because if he's asked about who is this, who is that, and he's under oath with the federal government, he got to tell them. He's not going to plead the fifth.
Yeah, I know that got to be a terrible feeling, man. You know you did something wrong at Diddy party, and you hoping and praying that it's not caught on tape.
But they don't think they did nothing wrong. That's their lifestyle. That's their lifestyle, bro. I ask guys all the time, if two men lay down, how many homos get up? What you mean? I mean what I mean. It's what it is.
The moment that tape conversation entered the public space, the pressure changed. This was not just about Rick Ross anymore. It became about everyone who may have moved around Diddy's world and is now wondering what was recorded, what was preserved, and what could still come out. That is why the silence is so loud. Nobody wants to speak first. Nobody wants to be connected. And nobody wants to find out that a private moment has become public evidence. For Ross, the timing could not be worse. Because when a reputation is built on power, wealth, and control, even one unexpected recording can shake the whole image.
Just trying to shake me down. That's what they're all trying to do. I told you it was a witch hunt. There's always one bad apple in the mix, potentially, and that could be this. Some of it could be true. We don't know. But I wanted to make sure you had that whole picture before we go through this, because I don't like to bring kids into it. He's now an adult, so it's not like he's a kid. But still, now they're bringing in Diddy's kid. And there is a version of this Rodney Jones lawyer where he's been threatening that he was going to do it. It does, this part of it does feel a little shaky, where it's like, come on, file criminal suits then. What is this weird, like, public brawl you're doing? Let's go through what's alleged. It does seem pretty damning, and they have evidence, which makes me look at this a little bit more differently. But let's go through. Okay, read as much as I can safely for YouTube standards. But as we know, all the things that Sean Diddy Combs is already facing, there's now a new suit going against his son, King. In the suit filed Thursday, Superior Court Grace O. Murkai, sorry if I'm saying that wrong, alleges that Christian King Combs SA'd her in late December of 2022 while she was working on a boat charter that had been sold as a wholesome family excursion, but turned into a hedonistic environment. The alleged A happened just days before Sean hosted a New Year's Eve yacht party with a long list of celebrity guests. Christian Combs is accused of SH, an infliction of emotional distress. In the lawsuit, Sean is being sued for premises.
Now, all of Ross's past denials and public distance from certain circles are being questioned again, because once recordings enter the picture, people stop listening to what was said publicly and start looking for what happened privately. The issue is not just whether someone was present. The issue is what those connections reveal about the image that was sold to the public, and that is why the reaction has been so intense. Industry figures understand that material like this can affect more than gossip. It can affect business, partnerships, public trust, and long-term credibility.
Yeah, you might be right about that. Good point, man. But what was that comment you made about how the baby oil at Diddy house might be laced? What makes you say that?
Well, what I said is that, isn't it weird that the government was so interested in Diddy's baby oil that they took 1,000 bottles away from his house? If the government took 1,000 bottles of baby oil and somebody had things what appeared to be baby oil, and then you have to listen to the prosecutor. He said that they seized 1,000 bottles what allegedly to be baby oil. Allegedly to be baby oil. So that's telling people that it wasn't baby oil. And people think that that was baby oil, they out their mind. I don't believe it was baby oil. Yo, bro, when they went up in there, they knew what they was gonna find. They knew what was ever in that baby oil or that those bottles that appeared to be baby oil, they knew about that at first. You gotta realize 9 times out of 10, that individual that got caught at the airport, that was supposed to be their carrier, told them what they was doing and what they had. I wouldn't put him past that he told them everything. So when they went up in there, they knew they had to take whatever was out there, and that thing that appeared to be baby oil, they took that. They got to test every last one of them. Let's see how much, let's see how many of those come back to be baby oil. Bro, listen to me. Costco don't sell that much baby oil. Where you know sell that much baby oil?
Yeah, I don't know any store that sell that much baby oil. I know Costco, they came out and said that they don't even sell baby oil.
My sentiments exactly.
But you personally, right, what do you believe was in the baby oil?
If you ever seen a massage...
At this point, the entire industry appears to be watching the situation unfold in real time. Behind the scenes, people are not only reacting to what has already surfaced, they are preparing for what could come next. That is what makes this moment dangerous. If more recordings exist, then every denial becomes risky. Every public statement becomes calculated, and every person connected to the story has to decide whether to speak, stay silent, or quietly distance themselves. For Ross, this is no longer just a public relations issue. It is becoming a credibility crisis.
Parlor being raided. And they walking out the people. Do they take the massage oil with them when they go? No. They just walk out the people who are being arrested. If you ever seen a person getting arrested and the people being arrested in those brothel houses, do they take out the stuff in the brothel houses? No, they don't. They take the individuals who are being arrested out the brothel houses. For them to take 1,000 bottles of baby oil, it's like that they did not leave one. They left people there, but they ain't leave not one bottle. Nobody needed no baby oil. So my whole thing about it is that there was something in that other than baby oil. That's why they took all the bottles. And 9 times out of 10, if I would give it a wild guess, it was, and like some of the people told me, it was probably that GHB.
What's that?
I think it's gamma hydrox. I looked it up, bro. Let me see. See if I can find it. I know this is just showing everything like that, but oh no. Let me. Yo, somebody tap dance or sing or do something, you know what I'm saying, while I'm doing this. Oh, here it go right here. It's gamma hydroxy butyric. What is it effect on the body? It's a euphoria, drowsiness, decreased anxiety, and memory impairment. It works on the nervous system and gives you this feeling of euphoria. So they take that and rubbed it on her, and you forget who you are, what you're doing. It can also give you memory loss. drowsiness. And that's under the DEA, the Drug Enforcement Administration.gov.
Desperation started to show almost immediately. As the material spread, the focus shifted from the content itself to who had it, who released it, and how much more could still be out there. That is when the panic becomes visible. Takedown attempts, legal pressure, quiet distancing, and private calls all point to one thing: control was slipping. And the more people tried to contain the story, the more attention it created. What made it worse was the public divide that followed. Some people defended Ross, others started connecting old stories, and many simply watched in silence as the situation grew bigger than one recording.
Others' pattern of practice of depravity. Now, we're going to get into more of the specifics, but right out the gate, Tyrone is using this as a public battle. This isn't some private thing they're trying to do through authorities. This is we're coming for you. We've warned you, we're coming for you. It seems odd Diddy didn't settle it. At the same time, if it's false, that's why he wouldn't. But then why did Diddy settle with Cassie so much? If that was also false, is what we got to look at, guys. That's why this whole puzzle, all the puzzle pieces connect here. Now, in her suit, she alleges that Christian gave her substances and then SA'd her. She included transcriptions of audio clips that she states are evidence of her denying his advances as he gropes her. The suit states that the clips were recorded by a producer in the studio. Omar Kai, who was 25 at the time, alleged worked as a steward, providing dinner and drink services on the yacht from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., and witnessed partying and drug use between constant rotation of suspected intimate workers. Celebrities, the suit states. She also alleges in the complaint that she suspected bottles of alcohol were laced with substances because women began to fall over themselves, panic, or pass out just after one drink. On December 28th, 2022, Omar Kai was informed that Christian Combs would be joining the party to record with music producer Rodney Little Rod Jones in the yacht's makeshift studio. Christian had been staying on a shore at a villa, but often joined his father in evenings, according to the suit. The woman's suit alleged that he arrived heavily intoxicated and then he paid an inappropriate amount of attention to her. Christian then pressured her to take shots of tequila that she believed, he brought on board, according to the suit. After she took the shot, she states in the lawsuit, he became aggressive, insisted she drink more. She became fearful and began to feel the effect of the tequila, which she quickly suspected had been spiked. The situation escalated as Christian groped her legs, other intimate parts. The suit details audio recordings in which it states Omar Kai can be heard declining alcohol, saying she had to leave, and telling Christian to stop touching her with what sounds like kissing noises in the background. The audio was recorded by Jones, the producer who was in the studio during the alleged incident, and who was alleged in his own lawsuit that he was required to record Sean Combs constantly and had hours of footage in which the music mogul and his staff allegedly engaged in criminal conduct. This is what's weird. So Rodney's in the studio recording this audio.
When everything erupted, the industry's real loyalties became much easier to see. People who once seemed close began moving differently. Quiet unfollows, vague posts, delayed responses, and sudden distance started telling their own story. In moments like this, support is not always measured by statements. Sometimes it is measured by silence. And in Ross's case, that silence suggested that momentum had shifted. The alliances were thinning. The room was getting smaller. And the people who once stood nearby were suddenly choosing space.
I'm here to fight for those who can't fight for themselves, and I applaud Grace for being so brave to come forward with the truth, attorney Rodney S. Diggs said of his client. Hopefully her story will inspire others to come forward. Her suit is the first to accuse Christian, Diddy's son, otherwise known as King, since November. His father, Sean, obviously has been accused of SA by 4 other women, which he's denied. As we know, one of those is settled. No attorneys have responded yet, but that's what we have here. Now, the suit isn't available in the public yet, so I can't give you more than that, but that is the latest coming in. And I'm torn on this because obviously serious allegations claims to be audio. I need to hear that ourselves. I feel like we need to hear sort of the context of things. But if it is as transcribed, it definitely isn't a good look. At the same time, I'm confused by the setting, Kim. They're in a studio. Rodney's watching. Was it he just left it on? Could this be Rodney and the woman trying to just gather evidence to try to get money from the Diddy family? There's a few scenarios that go in my head, so I don't know what to believe, honestly. But clearly serious allegations. What's your take?
I mean, I don't know, but I also look at like that clip we saw of Diddy earlier in this stream of him in his office. And if Rodney was recording things for him in his day-to-day life all the time, he would probably have a little mini studio that he would take with him in the sense because you need to have mics set up, you need to have your camera set up, you need to have where, all that type of thing happening. My guess is maybe that's what they mean with the studio, but I think we're going to need a bit more information, and I'm sure that information will come with the lawsuit because it does sound a little fuzzy at this point.
And what makes it fuzzier, in my opinion, is now that more is coming out against this lawyer, particularly. And I want to focus. There's a whole lawsuit now, or a judge grievance. It's long, but I want to focus on this 2-pager grievance report. This is from Diddy's camp. We, the council, defending as UMIC Recordings, Universal, and Sir Lucen Grange, in the connection with the telephone hearing Your Honor has scheduled, we write to you to bring you Your Honor's attention of the order issued by Judge Coate yesterday. Now, Judge Coate previously held a case with with the attorney Blackburn. Yesterday, in the case of Zerzinski versus Fisher, copy which is attached, Judge Coate referred Mr. Blackburn to the grievance committee of the Southern District of New York to address what she found to be a pattern of failing to comply with his Rule 11 obligations. And an observation particularly relevant to the offensively false and salacious accusations Mr. Blackburn leveled at our clients, only to abandon the accusations after having attracting press attention, swapping them out for equally false allegations. Judge Coate specifically stated, a reasonable inference from Blackburn's pattern of behavior is that he improperly files cases in federal court to garner media attention, embarrass defendants with salacious allegations, and pressure defendants to settle quickly. Indeed, his submissions to this court have been rife with disturbing allegations against the defendants and defense counsel. And as John, a lawyer, John told me, like, she's upset. It's strong language from a judge to infer herself into another case and person to put it out there. As he's read, there's a whole document that's here, which we can go through in the live, that breaks down sort of even more. It's about a 15-page document of grievances and basically calling out Blackburn from Judge Denise Coate to sort of put out a warning, be careful. And so when I see this, Kim, it's hard to not be a little worried because look, we had this story a while back where a couple days ago, Steph pitched it to me and it was like, basically Blackburn was threatening, there's bad stuff coming about your kid, Diddy. It's coming. What are you going to do?
As the fallout spread, executives and insiders began treating the situation like more than a personal feud. Meetings were adjusted. Camps became more careful. Public appearances were watched more closely. And everyone started asking the same question. How much does 50 Cent really have? Because if this was only the first move, then the bigger story may still be waiting. For Rick Ross, the pressure is no longer just about responding to 50. It is about protecting an image, explaining old connections, and surviving a wave of exposure that could pull more people into the conversation. And for 50 Cent, this looks less like revenge and more like a long game. A game built on patience, timing, and knowing exactly when to strike. So now the real question is simple. Was this the end of the feud? Or just the beginning of what 50 has been holding back for years?